So Sharon, welcome to the Startup TV live stage here at the Business Startup Show. How are you today?
I'm excellent, thanks Chelsea.
Good. Now Sharon, I understand that you're an inner leadership coach, you're an author, psychotherapist
Yes.
even, and a speaker. So tell us a little bit about how, I know that you've obviously had a very varied career in the corporate life. How did you take things to the next level? How did you become your own enterprise?
How I became my own enterprise was because I got an enormous whack around the head, basically.
And that leads me nicely onto your book, which is called Whack Around the Head.
Thanks. I was working in marketing in a corporate and earning good money and hating it, just hating it. And I knew that in my heart there was something that I really, really wanted to do, and I didn't know what it was. So I started taking a psychology degree because I knew it meant helping people. And I discovered that wasn't for me. And eventually I discovered training in psychotherapy in the private sector was spot on. It really fulfilled my purpose.
Wonderful. And when was that?
Too many years ago.
Okay. So obviously, you had a really hectic corporate career, and you dabbled in various things to find your niche. And then when you decided what you really enjoyed, how did you take it to the next level?
In terms of my working?
In terms of working, yes.
Okay, I was very bold. I knew that I had a lot to offer. And so I began positioning myself, talking about myself, getting my name put around, and people became interested in what I was talking about, and my business just grew. And in fact, I don't advertise at all. All my referrals are by word of mouth.
A recommendation?
Yes.
Wonderful. So when did you launch Whack Around the Head?
Well, Whack Around the Head started about 3 years ago. And I was working with people, just like people here, people in corporates, who were terribly miserable. They were either miserable, or they felt that they were in the wrong box, or they just knew there was something. There had to be more than life than this.
And any other advice for finding out what business you should start? Apart from looking at your inner self, anything else?
I think the other thing, once you know what your flavour is and what you really want to go into, is absolutely test the market. You might think you would make wonderful ostrich hats, but if there's no market for ostrich hats, it's a waste of time. So whatever your purpose is, you have to turn it into something that people out there will want.
And obviously we're two women in business here today.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about some of the obstacles that you faced as a woman in business.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, very lucky I have never had to go to the bank manager. I've always financed.
We've had quite a few terror stories of bank managers today.
I was going to say, they do. If I go to meetings, if I'm pitching for some work, my experience is that if it's a lot of men you're dealing with, they don't take you as seriously as they could do. And then I give them some kind of whack around the head.
Is that where the name comes from, Whack Around the Head? Is that where it comes from?
What?
The name of your book? It's a wake-up call.
It is a wake-up call. It actually comes from students, Buddhist and Zen and martial arts students, learning how to be very present. For most of us, we're not really here. We're thinking about last week, we're thinking about what we're going to do in a moment. Whereas if you're really here in terms of business, you're really present, then you see the opportunities. Then you impress somebody else because you're here in your body and you're powerful. And years and years and years ago in ancient China, they used to teach students how to be very present. And if they in the moment, and if they saw their eyes glaze over, they would hit them over the head with a stick, or whack around the head, which would wake them up.
I hope my eyes haven't glazed over yet. It's been an early morning. So, wonderful, Sharon. And obviously you've done a lot of different things in your career. You know, from a speaker to the NLP training, coach, psychotherapist. What do you really enjoy most? Put you on the spot here now.
You did. I love it all. I'm very blessed. I'm doing work that I love.
And what does the future hold for the Sharon Eden project? What's coming out next?
What's coming out next is definitely Media Tart.
Media?
Tart.
Ah, okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Right, so Sharon, any other last minute advice for our entrepreneurs out there who are thinking of setting up their own business today? What's your piece of advice for them?
My advice really is go for something that you love. And when you have your vision and you found your purpose and you go for something you love, then you'll have the passion, the enthusiasm to take you through the tough times, because boy, are there tough times when you're an entrepreneur. And you'll help to develop your own power. Learn how to use your power wisely. I have to tell you, there's a few women standing around here now. I think there is nothing more powerful than a woman in her power. Men can learn it too, but to see a woman in her power in business is delicious.
I can absolutely relate to that. Brilliant, Sharon, you're very, very inspirational. Thank you so much for sharing all your news with us about what you're doing and also your inspirational advice and your tips today. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are fascinated by what you do, and I wish you all the best with a whack around the head, not literally. But thank you ever so much for joining us here at the Business Startup Show.
Thank you, Chelsea.